I'm 93 years old. I was married to my husband William for 61 years before he passed. And tonight I'm going to tell you the truth about those 61 years. The truth I've never spoken to anyone. The truth that's been sitting in my chest like a stone since 1958. I married a man who made me feel like nothing. And I stayed because I thought that was my duty. William was 24 when we married. I was 20. He was handsome and successful and came from a good family. Everyone said I was marrying up. My mother practically pushed me down the aisle. A man like that, choosing a girl like me, I should be grateful. So I was grateful. For 61 years, I was grateful to a man who treated me like furniture. The first year was fine. We were adjusting, learning each other. That's what I told myself when he started criticizing. The way I dressed wasn't right. The way I kept house wasn't right. The way I spoke wasn't right. Everything about me needed correction. And he was happy to correct it. I changed. I changed my hair because he didn't like it. I changed my clothes because he disapproved. I changed how I spoke, how I walked, how I laughed. By year 2, I didn't recognize myself. I had become a version of me that he had designed, and even that version wasn't good enough. William had a temper, not the kind that explodes, the kind that freezes. When he was angry, and he was angry often, the whole house went cold. He would stop speaking to me, not for hours, for days, sometimes weeks. I would move through our home like a ghost, apologizing for things I didn't do wrong, trying to figure out what I had done to deserve the silence. The silence was his favorite weapon. He could punish me without ever raising his voice. He could make me desperate and small and terrified without ever saying a word. I would do anything to end the silence, anything, and he knew it. He criticized me in front of others, at dinner parties, at family gatherings, little comments that sounded like jokes but weren't jokes. Edith isn't very bright, but she tries. You'll have to forgive my wife. She doesn't understand these things. Everyone would laugh. I would laugh too, because what else could I do? Make a scene? Embarrass him? That would only make the silence worse when we got home. I learned to be invisible. That was the safest way to exist in that house. Don't have opinions. Don't have needs. Don't take up space. Don't be too loud or too quiet or too happy or too sad. Just be nothing. Nothing can't be criticized. Nothing can't be punished. I had 3 children. I loved them desperately. They were the only light in that house. But even my mothering was monitored. If I comforted them too much, I was making them soft. If I disciplined them, I was doing it wrong. I couldn't win. I was never going to win. The game was designed so I would always lose. William controlled the money. I never saw a bank statement. I never wrote a check. I was given an allowance, like a child, a small amount for groceries and household things. If I needed anything else, I had to ask. And asking meant explaining, justifying, being questioned, and often denied. I needed new shoes once. Mine had holes in them. I asked William for money to buy shoes. He asked why I couldn't make the old ones last longer. He asked if I was being wasteful. He asked if I understood how hard he worked for his money. I wore shoes with holes for another 6 months. That's not a marriage. That's captivity with a wedding ring. I thought about leaving. Of course I thought about leaving. Every woman in my situation thinks about leaving. But thinking and doing are different things. Where would I go? My parents said I made my bed. My sister said marriage is sacrifice. My church said divorce is sin. Everyone I trusted told me to stay, so I stayed. I stayed through the silent treatments that lasted weeks. I stayed through the criticisms that never stopped. I stayed through the loneliness of being married to someone who saw me as less than. I stayed through 61 years of feeling worthless in my own home. I stayed, and I told everyone we were happy. I lied to my children. I lied to my friends. I lied to myself. I smiled in photographs. I played the good wife at company dinners. I performed happiness so convincingly that sometimes I almost believed it. But at night, alone in the bathroom, I cried. Quietly, always quietly. For 61 years, I cried in that bathroom and then dried my eyes and went back out and pretended everything was fine. William died 4 years ago. Stroke, quick. He was here and then he wasn't. And I sat by his hospital bed and I held his hand because that's what a wife does. I cried at his funeral because that's what a widow does. I accepted condolences about what a wonderful husband he was because that's what 61 years of performing teaches you to do. But inside I was breathing for the first time. Inside I was feeling space where there had only been weight. Inside I was realizing that I had given 61 years to a man who never deserved 1 year, not one. I wasted my life. That's the truth. I wasted my one precious life being small for a man who wanted me small. Being silent for a man who wanted me silent, being nothing for a man who wanted me to be nothing. I'm 93 years old. I have maybe a few years left, and I will spend those years finally being myself, whoever that is. After 61 years of being his version of me, I don't even know anymore, but I'm going to find out. And I'm going to say this to every young woman who will listen. Do not be me. Do not give your life to someone who makes you feel worthless. Do not stay silent when you should be screaming. Do not shrink yourself to fit inside someone else's idea of who you should be. Do not mistake cruelty for love. Do not mistake control for care. Do not mistake silence for peace. I endured because I thought I had no choice. My generation taught me that wives endure, that marriage is suffering, that holding the family together is more important than holding yourself together. That's a lie. That's a lie that stole 61 years of my life. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Even when it feels impossible. Even when everyone is telling you to stay. Even when you're scared and broke and alone. You have a choice. Don't stay somewhere you are not respected. Don't stay somewhere you are not valued. Don't stay somewhere you have to become nothing to survive. You are not nothing. You are someone. You are someone who deserves to be seen and heard and loved without conditions. You deserve a partner, not a warden. You deserve a marriage, not a prison. I know this now, at 93, after wasting my whole life learning it the hard way. Please don't learn it the hard way. Please leave before you become me. Please choose yourself before you forget who yourself is. I stayed for 61 years. I should have left after one. Don't make my mistake. Leave. while you still can, while you still remember your own voice, while there's still time to live. Please, leave and never look back.